Hello, and welcome to our first long-form poetry reading session. Today we are going to be taking a look at a variety of poems from a variety of poets. So get comfortable, grab yourself a drink, relax, and enjoy. Strange Fits of Passion I Have Known by William Wordsworth. Strange fits of passion have I known, and I will dare to tell, but in the lover's ear alone, what once to me befell. When she I loved looked every day fresh as a rose in June, I to her cottage bent my way beneath an evening moon. Upon the moon I fixed my eye all over the wild lea. With quickening pace my horse drew nigh those paths so dear to me. And now we reached the orchard plot, and as we climbed the hill, the sinking moon to Lucy's cot came near and nearer still. In one of those sweet dreams I slept, kind nature's gentlest boon, and all the while my eyes I kept on the descending moon. My horse moved on, hoof after hoof, he raised and never stopped, when down behind the cottage roof at once the bright moon dropped. What fond and wayward thoughts will slide into a lover's head? "Oh, mercy," to myself I cried, "if Lucy should be dead." She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways by William Wordsworth. She dwelt among the untrodden ways, beside the springs of Dove, a maid whom there were none to praise, and very few to love. A violet by a mossy stone, half hidden from the eye, fair as a star when only one is shining in the sky. She lived unknown, and few could know when Lucy ceased to be. But she is in her grave, and oh, the difference to me. I traveled among unknown men by William Wordsworth. I traveled among unknown men in lands beyond the sea, nor England did I know till then what love I bore to thee. 'Tis past, that melancholy dream, nor will I quit thy shore a second time, for still I seem to love thee more and more. Among thy mountains did I feel the joy of my desire, and she I cherished turned her wheel beside an English fire. Thy morning showed, thy nights concealed, the bowers where Lucy played, and thine too is the last green field that Lucy's eyes surveyed. 3 years she grew in sun and shower by William Wordsworth. 3 years she grew in sun and shower, then nature said, "A lovelier flower on earth was never sown. This child I to myself will take, she shall be mine, and I will make a lady of my own. Myself will to my darling be both law and impulse, and with me the girl in rock and plain, in earth and heaven, in glade and bower, shall feel an overseeing power to kindle or restrain. She shall be sportive as the fawn that wild with glee across the lawn or up the mountain springs, and her shall be the breathing balm and hers in silence and the calm of mute and cessate things. The floating clouds their state shall lend to her, for her the willow bend, nor shall she fail to see, even in the motions of the storm, grace that shall mold the maiden's form by silent sympathy. The stars of midnight shall be dear to her, and she shall lend her ear to many a secret place, where rivulets dance their wayward round, and beauty born of murmuring sound shall pass into her face. And vital feelings of delight shall rear her form to stately height. Her virgin bosom swell, such thoughts to Lucy I will give, while she and I together live, here in this happy dell. Thus nature spake, the work was done, how soon my Lucy's race was run. She died, and left to me this heath, this calm and quiet scene, the memory of what has been, and never more will be. A slumber did my spirit seal, by William Wordsworth. A slumber did my spirit seal, I had no human fears. She seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years. No motion has she now, no force. She neither hears nor sees, rolled round in earth's diurnal course, with rocks and stones and trees. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my cloud I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. The World is Too Much with Us, by William Wordsworth. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. The sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me feel less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. Song to Celia, by Ben Jonson. Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine, or leave a kiss but in the cup, and I'll not look for wine. The thirst that from the soul doth rise doth ask a drink divine, but might I of Jove's nectar sup, I would not change for thine. I sent thee late a rosy wreath, not so much honoring thee as giving it a hope that there it could not withered be. But thou thereon didst only breathe, and sent'st it back to me, since when it grows and smells, I swear, not of itself, but thee. When I Do Count by William Shakespeare. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, and sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaths, borne on the briar with white and bristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the wastes of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing 'gainst time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence. Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land, who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear: My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. To Leigh Hunt by John Keats. Glory and loveliness have passed away, for if we wander out in early morn, no wreathed incense do we see upborne into the east to meet the smiling day. No crowd of nymphs soft-voiced and young and gay, in woven baskets bringing ears of corn, roses and pinks and violets to adorn the shrine of Flora in her early May. But there are left delights as high as these, and I shall ever bless my destiny that in a time when under pleasant trees Pan is no longer sought, I feel a free, a leafy luxury, seeing I could please with these poor offerings a man like thee. On sitting down to read King Lear Once Again by John Keats. O golden-tongued romance with serene lute, fair-plumed siren, queen of far away, leave melodizing on this wintry day, shut up thine olden pages, and be mute. Adieu, for once again the fierce dispute betwixt damnation and impassioned clay must I burn through, once more humbly essay the bitter sweet of this Shakespearean fruit. Chief poet, and ye clouds of Albion, begetters of our deep eternal theme, when through the old oak forest I am gone, let me not wander in a barren dream, but when I am consumed in the fire, give me new phoenix wings to fly at my desire. Think not of it, sweet one, so, by John Keats. Think not of it, sweet one, so, give it not a tear. Sigh thou mayest, and bid it go anywhere. Do not look so sad, sweet one, sad and fadingly. Shed one drop, then it is gone. Oh, 'twas born to die. Still so pale? Then dearest weep, weep, I'll count the tears, and each one shall be a bliss for thee in after years. Brighter has it left thine eyes than a sunny rill, and thy whispering melodies are tenderer still. Yet, as all things mourn a while at fleeting blisses, e'en let us too, but be our dirge a dirge of kisses. When I have fears that I may cease to be, by John Keats. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain, before high-piled books in charactery hold like rich garners the full ripened grain, when I behold upon the night's starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance, and when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more, never have relish in the fairy power of unreflecting love, then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone, and think, till love and fame to nothingness do sink. O thou whose face hath felt the winter's wind, by John Keats. O thou whose face hath felt the winter's wind, whose eye has seen the snow clouds hung in mist, and the black elm tops 'mong the freezing stars, to thee the spring will be a harvest time. O thou whose only book has been the light of supreme darkness, which thou feddest on night after night when Phoebus was away, to thee the spring shall be a triple morn. O fret not after knowledge, I have none, and yet my song comes native with the warmth. O fret not after knowledge, I have none, and yet the evening listens. He who saddens at thought of idleness cannot be idle, and he's awake who thinks himself asleep. Sweet, sweet is the greeting of eyes by John Keats. Sweet, sweet is the greeting of eyes, and sweet is the voice in its greeting. When adieus have grown old and goodbyes fade away, or old time is retreating, warm the nerve of a welcoming hand, and earnest a kiss on the brow, when we meet over sea and o'er land, where furrows are new to the plow. Sonnet written in the cottage where Burns was born by John Keats. This mortal body of 1,000 days now fills, O Burns, a space in thine own room, where thou didst dream alone on Budden bays, happy and thoughtless of thy day of doom. My pulse is warm with thine own barley brie, my head is light with pledging a great soul. My eyes are wandering, and I cannot see fancy is dead and drunken at its goal. Yet can I stamp my foot upon thy floor, yet can I ope thy window sash to find the meadow thou hast trampled o'er and o'er. Yet can I think of thee till thought is blind, yet can I gulp a bumper to thy name. Oh, smile among the shades, for this is fame. La Belle Dame sans Merci by John Keats. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering? The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, so haggard and so woe begone? The squirrel's granary is full, and the harvest's done. I see a lily on thy brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on thy cheeks a fading rose fast withereth too. I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairy's child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. I made a garland for her head, and bracelets too, and fragrance own. She looked at me as she did love, and made sweet moan. I set her on my pacing steed, and nothing else all day long, for sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. She found me roots of relish sweet, and honey wild and manna dew, and sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. She took me to her elven grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore, and there I shut her wild, wild eyes with kisses for, and there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed, ah, woe betide, the latest dream I ever dreamt on the cold hillside. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, death pale were they all. They cried, La Belle Dame sans Merci, thee hath in thrall. I saw their starved lips in the gloam, with horrid warning gaped wide, and I awoke and found me here on the cold hillside. And this is why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedge is withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Lines on the Mermaid Tavern by John Keats. Souls of poets dead and gone, what Islium have ye known, happy field or mossy cavern, choicer than the Mermaid Tavern? Have ye tippled drinks more fine than mine host's canary wine? Or are the fruits of paradise sweeter than those dainty pies of venison? O generous food, dressed as thou bold Robin Hood would, with his maid Marian, sup and bows from horn and can. I've heard that on a day mine host's sign-born flew away, nobody knew whither, till an astrologer's old quill to a sheepskin gave the story, said he saw you in your glory underneath a new old sign, sipping beverage divine, and pledging with contented smack the mermaid in the zodiac. Souls of poets dead and gone, what Islium have ye known, happy field or mossy cavern, choicer than the Mermaid Tavern? On the Grasshopper and the Cricket by John Keats. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshopper's. He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there shrills the cricket's song, in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. O solitude, if I must with thee dwell, by John Keats. O solitude, if I must with thee dwell, let it not be among the jumbled heap of murky buildings. Climb with me the steep, nature's observatory, whence the dell, its flowery slopes, its river's crystal swell, may seem a span. Let me thy vigils keep, mongst boughs pavilioned, where the deer's swift leap startles the wild bee from the foxglove bell. But though I'll gladly trace these scenes with thee, yet the sweet converse of an innocent mind, whose words are images of thoughts refined, is my soul's pleasure, and it sure must be almost the highest bliss of humankind, when to thy haunts two kindred spirits flee. The Primrose by Robert Herrick. Ask me why I send you here, this sweet infanta of the year. Ask me why I send to you this primrose, thus bepearled with dew. I will whisper to your ears, the sweets of love are mixed with tears. Ask me why this flower does show so yellow-green and sickly too. Ask me why the stalk is weak and bending, yet it doth not break. I will answer. These discover what fainting hopes are in a lover. Safe in Their Alabaster Chambers by Emily Dickinson. Safe in their alabaster chambers Untouched by morning and untouched by noon, sleep the meek members of the resurrection, raftier of satin and roof of stone. Light laughs the breeze in her castle of sunshine, babbles the bee in a stolid ear, pipe the sweet birds in ignorant cadence. Ah, what sagesty perished here! Grand go the years in the crescent above them, worlds scoop their arcs and firmaments row, diadems drop and dodges surrender, soundless as dots on a disk of snow. Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children played at wrestling in a ring. We passed the fields of grazing game. We passed the setting sun. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then, 'tis centuries, but each feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horses' heads were towards eternity. Our Journey Had Advanced by Emily Dickinson. Our journey had advanced, our feet were almost come to that odd fork in being's road, eternity by term. Our pace took sudden awe, our feet reluctant led. Before were cities, but between, the forest of the dead. Retreat was out of hope, behind a sealed route, eternity's white flag before, and God at every gate. I Never Lost as Much But Twice by Emily Dickinson. I never lost as much but twice, and that was in the sod. Twice have I stood a beggar before the door of God. Angels twice descending reimbursed my store. Burglar, banker, father, I am poor once more. I Felt a Funeral in My Brain by Emily Dickinson. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell, and being but an ear, and I and silence some strange race, wrecked, solitary, here. A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep while I weep, while I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can never dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lay down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in the sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. To a Skylark by William Wordsworth. Ethereal minstrel, pilgrim of the sky, dost thou despise the earth where cares abound? Or, while the wings aspire, are heart and eye both with thy nest upon the dewy ground? Thy nest which thou canst drop into at will, those quivering wings composed that music still. Leave to the nightingale her shady wood, a privacy of glorious light is thine, whence thou dost pour upon the world a flood of harmony, with instinct more divine, type of the wise who soar but never roam, true to the kindred points of heaven and home. Infant Joy by William Blake. I have no name, I am but 2 days old. What shall I call thee? I happy am, joy is my name, sweet joy befall thee. Pretty joy, sweet joy but 2 days old, sweet joy I call thee. Thou dost smile, I sing the while, sweet joy befall thee. A Dream by William Blake. Once a dream did weave a shade o'er my angel-guarded bed, that an emmet lost its way, where on grass methought I lay, troubled, wildered, and forlorn, dark benighted, travel worn over many a tangled spray. All heartbroke I heard her say, "Oh, my children, do they cry? Do they hear their father sigh? Now they look abroad to see, now return and weep for me." Pitying I dropped a tear, but I saw a glowworm near, who replied, "What wailing wight calls the watchman of the night? I am set to light the ground while the beetle goes his round. Follow now the beetle's hum, little wanderer, hie thee home." On Another's Sorrow by William Blake. Can I see another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not seek for kind relief? Can I see a falling tear and not feel my sorrow share? Can a father see his child weep nor be with sorrow filled? Can a mother sit and hear an infant groan, an infant fear? No, no, never can it be, never, never can it be. And can he who smiles on all hear the wren with sorrow small, hear the small bird's grief and care, hear the woes that infants bear, and not sit beside the nest, pouring pity in their breast, and not sit the cradle near, weeping tear on infant's tear, and not sit both night and day, wiping all our tears away? Oh, no, never can it be, never, never can it be. He doth give his joy to all, he becomes an infant small, he becomes a man of woe, he doth feel the sorrow too. Think not thou canst sigh a sigh, and thy Maker is not by. Think not thou canst weep a tear, and thy Maker is not near. Oh, he gives to us his joy, that our grief he may destroy. Till our grief is fled and gone, he doth sit by us and moan. So we'll go no more a roving, by Lord Byron. So we'll go no more a roving, so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a roving by the light of the moon.